Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Holy Trinity's Church Check-In Online on Wednesday, May 6th. It's great to be together. We have this church check-in on Wednesdays when we check in with the church, the community, and check in ways we can serve one another during this time. So thanks for making this part of your week, and check in with worship on Sundays at 9 a.m. or at a different time when it works for you in your week.
On Sundays, we have a worship service premiered at 9 a.m. that you can find live at either our YouTube page, our website, or our Facebook page, or you can tune in any other time of the week. And then you want some beads here, Miriam, here you go. And then Wednesdays, rather than having a second service, we've got a chance just to be this community, like Pastor Alicia was saying. So last week at our worship service, we had a great mental health themed service. Thank you, Pastor Alicia, for all you did to make that happen. And for all the guests in the community who are a part of the service, because who do you all have?
Thanks to the high school counselors and social workers. Thank you to Tom Hendrick from our suicide support and grief group here at the hospital. Thank you to Duck Cup Memorial and many, many others that were involved in worship. Thanks to everybody.
We had who we call our brother Will, a seminary classmate, good friend down in Texas, who was a part of it. And he cares a lot about the topic of mental health, and our high schoolers who went in the last National Youth Gathering came to know and love him and his people. Here's a quick picture of our groups together. So that was last weekend. This upcoming weekend, we've got a special Mother's Day service because people say that it's the third most important religious holiday in the church year behind Christmas and Easter. How about that? Mother's Day. So we want to make sure that we pack the place for Mother's Day because the service is going to be exceptional. Because we've got not only celebrating mothers, but because we're part of the ELCA, this year we are celebrating 50 years of women in ordained ministry in the ELCA and its predecessor bodies. So we're going to have a service that honors the ways in which God calls and leads through women in our church and in our world. And there's going to be some guests that are partaking in the service, some that might be familiar to those of you who've been at Holy Trinity for a few years. So you're not going to want to miss this service. We're also going to have Rachel Kurtz. She's a Lutheran singer-songwriter based out of Minneapolis. She's been to Holy Trinity one time before. You might remember her presence. But she's going to be a part of our worship service. Here's a glimpse of the kind of music she's going to bring.
Peace to the broken-hearted ones, the captives and the prisoners, and our shame, our doubt, our fears, God's calling to you. Love, it has its victory march, proclaiming peace to those far off. With grateful hearts we raise the hallelujah.
Thank you each for tuning in, both for the check-in and for worship. Thank you also for your likes and your engagement online. That matters, especially at a time when we're not together in person, to be able to be having this sense of community online. So thank you for all of your interactions also.
We're in a time when we're being community, even though we are in different places, finding ways to connect and pray together, be together, worship together. And in the community, there's also challenges that are happening that we want to partake in. And as 40 days ago, where Tim Dittberner, our superintendent, said that he wanted us to try to learn to do 40 push-ups in 40 days. And I started out strong by making sure that I did push-ups every day, and I slumped a little bit in there, but then I realized we got to the 40 days. So luckily I got hair gel this week, so I feel a little bit more confident in my self-ability. But here's my attempt.
We caught him on camera.
40 push-ups.
Hey.
Hello, everybody. We're gonna let you see how Dad does his push-ups.
And Miriam saw me doing the push-ups. And what?
I started doing the push-ups.
So here's a video of Miriam doing some push-ups.
Hey everybody, you're gonna watch me do my push-ups. Just there. Do that. 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10. Okay.
And then you and I tried to get Joy to do push-ups, right? She didn't want to do push-ups. She wanted to go outside.
Joy, I'm with you, girl.
Yep. That's where you were, huh? So there's a 40 push-up challenge, and there we go. How
Thank
about
you
that?
for your inspiration, Mr. Dipperner.
Okay, speaking of ways to be involved in our community, we are appreciative of the chance to host at Holy Trinity in our parking lot at 11 o'clock each day. The New Prague Area Schools distributes food to those in our community who can't necessarily make it to the school to pick up their food. So we're happy to be able to provide that space. We're also continuing to have our food pantry, our little free food pantry opened each day. So check it out if you haven't already. We try to talk about it each week, but drop food off if you'd like. Pick food up if you need. That's as easy as it gets. It's free, no questions asked. Speaking of community connections, today we are happy to invite Sarah Kalla here because she's been active in the community looking to find ways to support our local businesses. And a way that she can do that at home with 4 kids at this time, she came up with this plan called Signs of Support. So we're going to invite Sarah in for a conversation today. Well, I'm here today with Sarah Kalla. Say that right?
Yep, like holla. But
Kalla as in holla. Perfect. Who is becoming a mover and shaker here in New Prague these days with her Signs of Support initiative. Sarah, we got to know each other at Rotary a little bit, and so saw you leading this charge and thought, well, it'd be fun to hear more about it and see how we can help. So tell us about this Signs of Support effort.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for having me, by the way. So it all kind of started where I put a sign in our front yard. I'm just saying, this too shall pass, just kind of an uplifting way to help people through these times. And you know, we are business owners ourselves. We're not local, but we, just really truly know how hard it can be for business owners to go through this. So we were just thinking, gosh, how do we help people in this community? And I thought, what if we could get the signs for really cheap? And then if we color them for free, then 100% of the proceeds can go towards local businesses. And, messages of hope, that's something everyone could use right now in their front yard, where the parades are really big. So it could just be, happy birthday signs or happy anniversary or whatever it might be. So I put it on New Prague Happenings. I was able to get the signs for $2 and the stakes for $1 from Sewell Printing, which is so great because that's local. And I think in the first 5 hours, we sold $250 worth of signs. And that's when we knew it was going to kind of snowball into something bigger. And now we are up to orders. We have 282 orders of signs, and we've raised almost $4,000 for small businesses.
Oh my goodness.
Every time we get to $1,000, let's divide that up between 10 businesses. So every business will get $100, and $100 won't make or break anybody. So it really kind of morphed into, let's show the business owners of New Prague that we just have their back, that the community, they're buying these signs, they're putting them up. It's just this community movement, and that, we really stand behind them and support them. And it morphed even more into the community when the orders just started flooding in the beginning. My family, so we have 4 kids, we couldn't color the signs fast enough. So I
was going to ask about that. Yeah. How in the world do you keep up with all the orders?
I know. So it kind of morphed into, I reached out to a bunch of mom friends, and they said, okay, great. You letter them, my kids will color them in. And then I had other artists kind of reach out in the community. A lot of teachers are so good and crafty at that stuff. So it goes so much further than just my family doing this. Now I probably have 20 families in the community who are putting so many hours into coloring these signs, knowing that it goes to support this cause, of helping out our local businesses. It's
like you're giving people a chance to bring their own creativity to the table and say, how could I use this sign? So, it serves so many different purposes and does so many different forms of good in the community.
Yes, for sure. We've also had, I have a little letter that I give out with the $100 bill when we go deliver them to the business owners. And I have to tell you, the look on their face, there's a lot of tears going on, and, they are just so appreciative. The look on their face is priceless. It means so much to them. They're so touched. There's times when you're coloring for 5 hours a day and you think, this is a lot of work, but to actually get the reward of seeing the appreciation in person is it's awesome.
Oh, fantastic. So for people that are tuning in, how can they sign up? How can they help?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, by the way. So there's a few ways you can help. One is to buy a sign is super helpful. Put it in your yard, because that helps the community with uplifting messages. That obviously helps the business owners because all the proceeds are going to their companies. And then if you want to color some signs, that's great too, which also kind of leads into when you buy a sign, how do you buy a sign? So we are on Facebook, and that's Signs of Support. And that is the name of our Facebook group or our page. And you can go in there, you can message me. There's also a whole video on there of how to place an order. So if you want to reach out to me directly, you can text me, because not everyone's on social media. So so there's that. So you basically place an order, and then we just message you when the sign is ready to be picked up.
So signs are $20 a piece, and they can send the check to you, and then we should be good to go.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for having me, by the way.
Thank you, Sarah, for tuning in to our HTLC check-in. If you're out and about, take a look at these signs around town. There's hundreds of them by now, which is remarkable. But thank you, Sarah, for your efforts on behalf of our local businesses. And if you're out walking, if you're out running, if you're out driving, we've also got a new opportunity for you. This week, we added a Holy Trinity Spotify playlist. We are getting so techie. So check it out. These are some of our favorite songs that we've been playing in worship. If you just search on Spotify for Holy Trinity, or you can go to our website, you can see our playlist there. And if you have a Spotify account, listen on through and you'll say, hey, I recognize that song. That was played a couple weeks ago. Or, oh, this one is a good one. That was on Easter. So you'll notice those are our songs that we've played recently. So it's been a good week at church. As you may be receiving the HTLC Connections, each week there's a weekly email that's sent out. And this past week we showed the survey results. We took a survey of people still dreaming. And Joey didn't quite get a chance to take the survey yet because she doesn't know how to say words. But for the rest of you that did take the survey, those results can be found in that email. And there were a lot of fun things to be seen.
Jed Beecher did a neat thing. He put together a word cloud using the words that people use to describe Holy Trinity. And it was really neat. We want to show you a little glimpse here.
So I would say that no matter what we do going forward, welcoming is probably going to be a key word to our identity. That's an important part of who Holy Trinity is, no matter what.
Now, the truth is, we have been waiting to debut the pictures from the Front Porch Project. But before we debut them tonight, we want to have a little conversation with Gina Fadden, who had the idea and the engine behind this project happening.
Hey, Gina.
Hi. Can you see me?
I can, yes. This project, the Front Porch Project, it's more powerful than I ever thought it could be.
And it just turned into something that I didn't think it would turn into something so big.
Yeah.
I just thought I wanted to bring a little joy to some people.
Yeah.
I didn't think this many people would participate. The pictures turned out great.
Yeah.
And overall, it's just been a really positive reaction. I love seeing people changing their Facebook profile pictures and posting their pictures, and everybody from church is commenting on them, and it's just been really, I think it's just been really fun, an uplifter, if that you want to say.
Absolutely.
It's been really cool.
I mean, I remember when a couple of weeks ago, we had a Zoom meeting, or you and Alicia did, preparing for the Front Porch thing. And before that, you sent out a text, hey, we should do this. We should do this. And then I think one of my first hesitations was, okay, great. So good luck trying to convince a bunch of photographers to give up time to go to all these church people. And but you came up with a whole list in no time. I mean, within an hour or two.
I asked for 3 volunteers because I was thinking I was going to have 2 people help me, and we'd have another one just to have on call if we needed it, because I didn't think we would have this many people.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we had 7 people that wanted to participate.
I didn't know we had that many skilled photographers, and the fact
I know they could replace me easily.
I mean, the level of quality is just consistent on all the photos.
It was really cool.
Who is your team here for this photographer deal?
So we got Kate, Tracy, Stacy, Kristen, Maddie, Maggie, Jackie, me. Did I miss anybody? I think this is going to do so much for our church.
Yeah, seriously.
Camaraderie, just feeling like a part of something. And it's fun to see where everybody lives.
Yeah, you've got the secret, you've got the insight and all that.
Yep, I know where everybody is now.
So you've been immersed in these pictures.
Yes.
After being immersed for a while, what do you see? Like, what do you start to notice?
I see that there's still hope out there. There's still joy. People are still connected, either via virtual reality or whatever. People are still doing their thing. They're just holding on to hope.
I agree. It is. Yeah, these pictures are so hope-filled.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I feel like, yes, there's a heaviness, but the pictures also speak of a deeper peace too. Like, I don't know, there's a sense of wholeness in the eyes of families as they're together in the midst of this.
Yeah.
Way to go, Gina. I'm so happy with this.
Yee-hoo!
And I'm so excited just to have everybody watch it right now together. I know.
I know, it's been a lot. I'm like, okay, pressure. Got to get these pictures to Ben so that he can get it all put together. We got to pick a song, and we have to agree.
Yeah, and I started working last night at like 7 o'clock. I was like, I'll just put it in an hour or so, and
midnight.
We'll get a start on it, and then you get carried away.
You get carried away big time.
All right, Gina, you want to introduce it?
Here is your family porch project video. Enjoy.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Gina.
Yep.
The Lord bless you and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. Amen. 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 The Lord bless you and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. Amen. 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 May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. May his presence go before you and behind you and beside you, all around you and within you. He is with you, he is with you in the morning, in the evening, in your coming and your going, in your weeping and rejoicing. He is for you, 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 he is for you. Amen. 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 children, and their children, and their children. May His presence go before you, and behind you, and beside you, all around you, and within you. He is with you, He is with you, in the morning, in the evening, in your coming, and your going, in your weeping, and rejoicing. He is for you, 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 He is for you.